moving on down to the pension and 401k plans, Mr. Matthews.
Barbara sends a snapshot, and it looks good. The fund managers are making money, and I want Pam to do mine because she's so thorough. I think she did about 4 people's presentations, so that's my vote.
I'm sorry.
Pam, you need
I'll
to
just take it off. I'll just give it off.
look at the snapshot and come up with something good because it's kind of boring like this. Pam makes it sound so good. That's all I got.
All right, we'll move on down to the Santa Rosa Regional Reuse Project. I'm going to defer this one to Mr. Krigler.
Yeah, so contractor L&K is still making significant progress toward completion of the project. Really on the pipeline route, really just limited to cleanup of areas that he's worked in, rectifying some, restoration areas with some of the members and people along the route. At the plant, we're still not quite complete with the pump station. The biggest item remaining on the pump station is the electrical work. The electrical building hasn't arrived. It's a prefabricated building that the contractors ordered. It's supposed to come in mid-January. So once that shows up, then they can put the panels in there, wire everything up. So still a little bit of work to do there at the plant, and we're still hoping this project will be operational in second quarter of 26.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Jeff. The club at Hidden Creek Management Board. Mr. Mark Miller.
The club at Hidden Creek Management Board met on December 11th, and several of the items that we discussed were the entrance sign that needs to be replaced. There's beginning to get some conceptual designs on that, but nothing's ready to come before the board yet on that. As far as the drone project to film the golf course, they decided there's a drone operator that is willing to do that free of charge, and just to maybe not the whole course, but a few of the holes, just to kind of show some of the work that they can do. And then once the bunker renovations and all are done, then we'll actually put that out for bid to get a full drone of the golf course. The financials, there was an adjusting entry based on our board's decision about how we treat revenues. So the numbers are skewed because of that, but that's a good thing because it's going to. The equipment purchases were discussed, and that's on our agenda later in the meeting. So we'll go over some of the equipment that they have out there. But that concludes my report.
All right,
Mr. President, I'd like to piggyback on that.
Sure.
Okay. That's great that vendor drone is going to do some pro bono work. That's great. And hopefully the board, I know Mr. Krigler knows, I compiled a comprehensive list of drone operators who actually have to have a flying license now. 3 at the top of that list that are local and from Navarre. So if we can keep it local, it would really be good. But in soliciting some bids, that would make it very competitive.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go down to the Fairpoint Regional Utility System. Mr. Jeff Krigler.
Yes, so Fairpoint Board met on November the 25th. We did approve the budget for 2026, and there's no December meeting for Fairpoint. We typically don't have one in December, so that November meeting was the last meeting of the year, so kind of quiet with Fairpoint right now.
All right, we'll move right along to Municipal Engineering Services, Mr. Phil Phillips.
I don't believe I have anything exciting enough to report.
That's usually a good thing. We like it boring. If that's
I have
okay.
a question.
Go ahead, Mr. Reynolds.
How are we with I&I?
We'll come to that at the end of the
Okay.
program. But
Thank you.
I'll cut to the chase and say we're still trying to figure out the software issue. So.
All right, we'll discuss that further. All right, moving on down to finance, the review of October 2025 financials. Mr. Krigler and
Yep.
Barbara.
All right. agree that Pam did a great job. Thank you very much. As well as Carmen and Mark, but I'll go over the figures for the month of October. Total revenue of $1,353,190. Total expenses of $1,207,204, with a total net operating income of $145,986. That concludes my report.
I could have done that one too.
I thought she did.
Yeah.
I think that's
She
the
was
only
going,
thing-
I
I
did have-
telling you, like, you're done.
I did have one question about the financials. The system capacity fees were, but 98% above what they were budgeted for.
We had one, who was that? A big development that paid.
That's what I was wondering. I figured it had to be a subdivision or some kind of a.
Typically, it's like a hotel or a subdivision, with a large number of lots, yeah, would skew it.
The one that's going up next to Public? You don't know? That's fine.
No, it was the apartment complexes on 87.
Enclave. Enclave
yes,
Town.
yes,
Enclave,
yes.
okay. Excellent. All right.
Is that new one down there, that DR next to the CrossFit?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah.
And right now, I'll ask how the recently announced 47-lot subdivision within, it appears off of Adams Street, Holly by the Sea, and the upcoming Wawa at the corner of Highway 98 and Whispering Pines Boulevard, how will that help our bottom line?
Well, those are projects that are in review right now, and of course, they would also pay system capacity fees when they're done with construction. They're in the plan review stage right now, so they still got to build it. Typically, they don't pay till the end of the project, so they probably pay that in 2026 if they get it done.
Have we done any projections?
Yeah, typically those, I don't have those off the top of my head, but we can certainly share those, just based on the ERUs that they play. And the Wawa, as an example, has great history on how much they use, so they can project pretty well. So we've got a pretty good idea of what theirs would be.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so we need to approve the October 2025 financial statements. Do I have a motion?
So move.
All right, Mr. Reynolds.
Second.
And I've got a second from Mr. Matthews. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, hearing none, motion passes. The Club at Hidden Creek 2026 budget, proposed budget, Mr. Krigler.
Yeah, so the next two items are approval of our budgets for our subsidiary companies. First one is the Club at Hidden Creek. We presented this at two budget workshops. So we're asking for approval tonight to implement the Club at Hidden Creek 2026 proposed budget.
All right,
I move for approval of the 2026 Hidden Creek budget.
Second.
Point of clarification, this does include the 5-year GPS purchase, lease purchase, correct?
Yes, that was added in, that's correct.
Thank you.
but you know, even with that added into the budget, the budget's relatively flat.
Right.
I mean, it's relatively flat, so, and we're doing pretty well this year, so let's hope we can continue. We've got a really good management crew out there running the place now, and I think we're doing really well, so. But we have any other discussion on the Club Hidden Creek budget? All right, we've gone over it like quite a few times already. But we have a motion from Mr. Miller and a second from Mr. Matthews. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? All right, here.
Opposed.
We do have all right, so it passes 5-1. All right, moving along to the next item on our agenda. This is going to be the messy municipal engineering proposed budget. Mr. Crickler.
Yeah, so similar to the club's budget, we've presented this at the two workshops. There's been no changes since the last workshop. and we're recommending approval of the messy 2026 budget.
Any discussion from the board?
I move for approval of the municipal engineering budget.
Second.
All right. We have a motion from Mr. Miller and a second from Mr. Matthews. Any further discussion from the board? All in favor to approve the messy 2026 proposed budget, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, hearing none, motion passes. All right, we're going to touch on this, Holly Navarre Water System 2026 proposed budget. Mr. Krigler.
Yeah, so the club and Messy's budget are formally approved at tonight's meeting. A little bit different with the Holly Navarre budget. Of course, that's not approved finally until the annual meeting for our bylaws. So we're asking for essentially temporary approval of the budget tonight, and then of course final approval at the annual meeting. And then of course we would operate between January 1 and the annual meeting based on those figures. I'd like to highlight this budget does include a 2.8% COLA for the employees. That's based on the CPI. It also includes the 12% rate increases discussed in detail at the budget workshops. So once again, similar to the other two, we're asking for approval of this budget, 2026 budget, to use between January 1 and the annual meeting, and to include the employee 2.8% COLA.
All right, I would just encourage everybody, you know, we discussed this 12% rate increase, and it's obviously a hot topic. I explained in length at the last meeting why we're doing this. I'm not going to go back into it again. If anybody's concerned and they want to know why, please go back into our YouTube channel and watch the last meeting. It was at the end of the meeting, so and I made it very clear that it's really a necessity because of the aging infrastructure. So, any further discussion from the board?
Yes, Mr. President, point of clarification, Mr. Krigler, could you explain to the board and the members of the public the equivalence of the 2.8 COLA, the significance, financial significance of that amount, please?
Yes, so based on our proposed wage budget, that figure works out to be right around $97,000, and that's an approximate.
That's a good point.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the Holly Navarre Water System 2026 budget to use between January 1st and the annual meeting, which is going to be held on January the 20th, 2026, to include the employee 2.8% COLA?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Miller, you got a motion?
Second.
And Mr. Matthews, I have a second. Any further discussion from the board? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Opposed.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Carmen. All right. Motion passes 5-1. All right. Item number 7, Holly Navarre Water System Contribution Policy. Mr. Krigler.
Yes, so last month, the board approved a resolution which essentially addressed how we account for both golf course expenses that relate to our spray field system, as well as addressing how those funds are paid to the club. The reason the board considered that resolution was for tax reasons. In support of that resolution, we developed a very kind of brief and succinct policy. The thought being for either future boards, future staff, to really clarify how this will be implemented. I won't read this whole policy. I will read kind of what I think is the meat of it, and that's what the board approval that's required here. So we're going to essentially having a policy that no contribution will be made without prior approval from the HNWS Board of Directors outside the annual budget process. Approval must specify the amount, classification, whether it's capital operating, the stated purpose, and any limitations or conditions. So what that means is that the board in the past has voted on an amount to pay to the golf course for those spray field expenses. if there's anything outside of that, staff has to come back to the board before any contribution to the golf course is made. I think that's almost kind of understood, but now we've kind of
Okay.
put that in writing. So this is the policy that will kind of support that, the new classification of those expenses and contributions.
All right, the staff recommends that we approve the contribution policy to address the procedures for how contributions to the Club at Hidden Creek will be made relative to Resolution 2025-03.
Move for approval, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Ms. Reynolds.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Matthews. We have a motion and we had a second. Any further discussion from the board? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, hearing none, motion passes 6-0. All right, item number 8, the Club at Hidden Creek equipment purchase. Mr. Jeff Krigler.
Yes, we have 3 pieces of equipment that we would like to purchase for the golf course. 2 are mowers. One is a zero turn and the other is a front deck mower. Both of those are to replace aging equipment. We've had some maintenance issues with some of the older pieces of mowing equipment out there, and we feel it's time to replace those. The front deck mower would be an addition. We don't currently have one of those. And as Haynes is here, Haynes runs the maintenance at the course. He'll be able to help answer any questions. But essentially, the front deck mower allows us to better reach on the fringes of the fairway where there's a lot of trees and roots, and reach under bushes and shrubs. It's just a more functional mower for that part of the course. So we think that'll help us. So we were able to get quotes from 2 of our local suppliers for these mowers. So we're recommending a purchase of like I said, a front deck and a zero turn mower. And the other piece of equipment we're looking at purchasing is a pruner. The reason for that is we have a lot of oak trees on this course. And you can see on the left there is the front deck mower. You can see that has the essential mowing unit out in front, like I described. And then, of course, that's a zero turn in the middle. The pruner is a pull behind that we would use behind a tractor. Essentially, the amount of trees we have on the course, we have root intrusion into the greens. And of course, I know our greens are critical part of the course to be in great shape. You don't want undulations from root intrusion. So this is going to help with this. This is a sole source purchase. We looked at a couple options. A lot of the other options were all kind of agricultural grade. This one is designed specifically for golf course use, and it's a lot less intrusive in terms of restoration afterwards. Almost unnoticeable after you pass by. So this one is the root pruner. I think was a $24,000. So we're seeking approval for that, and then the two mowers from Jerry Pate.
So what are we going to do with the old equipment?
I don't think we've finally decided. Haynes may want to speak to that. I don't know that we can get what.
We're trying to find someone that might be able to scrap the parts on them, because the decks are still good, but the master cylinders are out for the hydros on it, the hydrostatic drives. So it's going to take too much to get those back up and going. But somebody might be able to use it for parts. We might be able to
get some
out of it for parts, but we're currently posting it on Marketplace.
Okay.
We used it up then, is what you're saying.
What would we do?
Yeah, sounds like it.
And one of the issues is they get too far up under the oak trees. They've been in the oak roots too much, and they've just been worn out. So we're trying to redefine some of these areas. The root pruner is going to help define where we want the motors to stop, where we want the grass, get some definition to those areas, spray up under the oaks, and just keep any of the machinery out of there.
Yeah.
If we do get some money for these things, what would we do with that extra?
Typically, it would just go back into their account.
Go back into the account? Okay.
I mean, we have a process here at High Navarre for disposal of equipment, and we would generally try to follow that.
That's right.
Right.
You'll see it on the income statement.
Okay. All right. All right.
Mr. President,
Yes. Ms. Reynolds.
I would like to move for approval of these purchases and add that my question was about the necessity of the sole source purchase, which Mr. Krigler so diligently answered my 20 questions about this. So he resolved my concern about the imperativeness of this particular piece of equipment, which is unique in maintaining the integrity of the course environment. So I move for approval.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Reynolds. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Miller. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the Columbia Hidden Creek purchase of Toro mowers in the amount of $44,421.02 from Jerry Pate, and the sole source purchase of the root pruner in the amount of $24,443.50 from St. John's Turf Care. So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion from the board?
Yes. When, is that a local company, St. John's Turf Care?
They're
It's
not.
out of Jacksonville.
And they'll ship that in
Yes, ma'am.
sometime?
Yes, ma'am. It's ready to go. They said as soon as we approve it here, they could probably have it within the week.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
President. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, hearing none, motion passes 6-0. All right, we're down to item number 9. Point of our water system equipment purchase, Mr. Krigler.
Yeah, so this is a dewatering pump we'd like to buy for the operations staff. This is a piece of equipment that would be used at various job sites. Essentially, it's used for dewatering the trench when we go somewhere, have to go somewhere and there's high groundwater, and we need to lower the groundwater to be able for our guys to work in a dry environment and work safely. We have one of these. It's been a really good piece of equipment. They use it all the time. I think we purchased it in 2024, but very routinely, we're working all over the system, not just in one place. So I think they've expressed a desire to get a second one. We budgeted $100,000 for 2026 under equipment. We haven't spent any of that to date. So this is we're looking to spend $49,800 for this dewatering pump. We did get 3 quotes for this, and we're recommending purchase from Tugwell for the lowest bidder for the pump in the amount of $49,800.
I saw one of the bids was over $100,000. That's crazy. That somebody can come in at half of that.
Well, I think what you were probably looking at was actually, they had bid 2 different style pumps, and it was confusing.
Oh, that's
when you
what,
looked at that bid.
okay.
Yeah, so,
Okay. 'Cause
It was, I thought it was in the low 50s, and this one was a little bit cheaper
Yeah, it
in the
was.
40s,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what it was, because they
Yeah.
were both on the same
they were on the
page,
same
and I was
page, and
like,
it was confusing
Yeah.
when you first looked at it, so.
Well, even the Tugwell bid has two pumps on there.
Mhm.
One's for 46,000, the other's for 39,000. So, and then a vacuum box at 3150 on the Tugwell bid.
Mr. Wells, what are you looking at for delivery on that?
We believe they have one in Jacksonville. It's just a matter of getting a check to them and them running somebody down here, dragging it behind a truck.
Yep.
I hope we get it before Christmas or the first of the year.
I'd like to
Merry
say,
Christmas.
right,
Yeah.
I'd like to say at this time that this shows a lot of diligence, that this is why the 3 bid policy is in place, and it reflects to the members that we are doing the absolute best with the limited money that we have, so kudos on that.
And to answer Director Miller's question, those first 2 items on Tugwell's quote, the pump plus the box is what we're asking for approval for.
Right.
Okay.
Move to approve the purchase.
All right, thank you, Ms. Reynolds.
Second.
And Mr. Matthews with a second. So we have a motion and a second to approve the purchase of the Tugwell's quote for the 6-inch enclosed pump in the amount of $49,800. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, hearing none, motion passes. Thank you, guys. All right. Item number 10 on the agenda, Resolution 2025-04, 401K Secure 2.0 Act of 2022. Mr. Jeff Krigler.
Yes, so there was some federal legislation in 2022 related to essentially employees' retirement accounts. So this applies to our 401K program. And both of these really have to do with catch-up provisions. So in other words, there's two categories, people 50 and over, and then people 60 to 63 have a whole nother level of catch-up provisions. So in other words, if you reach that age, you're able to put more money in your plan than a younger employee. So our plan administrator reached out, let us know that we would need to adopt this by resolution for these plan changes. And just to summarize them real quick, so basically, if you're over 50 and want to use the catch-up contributions, it would have to be considered as a Roth if your wages are above a certain amount. So you have two types. You have a Roth and a traditional. They would have to do Roth. And then the other one had to do with if you're 60 or 63, there also will be another additional contribution limit that you'd be able to go to. And then we were offered a choice that we reached out to our plan administrator about. So basically, so the choice was to permit increased catch-up contributions for participants between the ages of 60 and 63, or to not permit it, and they would have to go back to the limit at age 50. So none of this affects us financially. This is, we're only contributing what we match, which is the 6%. If the employee does that, any of this catch-up stuff's way above the 6% because they've already met the maximum for an employee. So if you're 50 or you're in that 60 range, this would be above that. So this just addresses folks that are older, closer to retirement, that want to put more money away. It allows them to do that with their money, not any of the parts we match. So really just kind of a formality, documenting those new federal rules.
So to clarify, this has no financial impact on the bottom line membership itself.
No cost to what we spend for the retirement program. That's
Okay.
correct.
And the narrative part, which I didn't catch, that says cat cup contributions really is catch-up contributions,
catch-up.
right?
Catch-up.
Catch-up, okay, thank you.
If I spell ketchup with a K.
Yes.
I was gonna leave it alone.
Sorry about that, guys. My dad jokes.
I move for approval of this resolution.
All right, thank you, Ms. Reynolds.
Second.
And Mr. Miller, I got a second. All right, any further discussion from the board? All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve the resolution 2025-04, the 401K Secure 2.0 Act of 2022 to be implemented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, hearing none, motion passes 6-0. All right, we're coming down to engineering monthly operations report. Mr. Phillips.
So back to Carmen's question, we continue not to be able to truly calculate I&I from the billing software as we've done in the past because of just the weirdness in the billing software. We do think that we have resolved a math issue, and I don't think I&I was as great as what was indicated on the reports through the summer, which of course we're again using weird numbers that we know are weird now. We do know we still have some I&I. There's kind of two forms of I&I. There's the I&I that's kind of baseline. The ground level is normally about here, and given the ground level, we have I&I. We have some of that. The ground level's kind of been low lately, so that's kind of hard to see. Mark continues to have some areas where it's been bad in the past and we haven't fixed, and we'll continue to fix those. Hard to identify new areas of that until we have groundwater back to normal. The other form of groundwater is when it rains really heavy, areas flood, And even though the groundwater doesn't come up, we know we have infiltration, into the system. We haven't been seeing a whole lot of that because, again, I don't think the groundwater is necessarily as high as it normally is, and the ground's not saturated. So even though we've gotten some pretty big storms, in a day, the ground's been so dry that it's just absorbed it, and we haven't been seeing it as much. I don't think that means we've solved all the problems, but the gist of it is it's a lot better than it was, several years ago. But we're still struggling to put a numerical, quantification on it, I guess, is the bottom line. One other thing, we're going to be changing the what's reported in the board package each month. We're still going to do the form that lists all the water and wastewater flow against our permit like we've been seeing in the past. We'll temporarily take I&I off that until we get that figured out or the software changes. All those other 10 pages you were getting that kind of really doesn't make a whole lot of sense, we're going to summarize on one page, and it's essentially going to say, since the last time we met, these folks have come in and said they want to develop something in the franchise area, and what that means in terms of capacity and potentially income. And then we'll have a list of the ongoing projects that you've previously seen, but they're still under construction, but not in service yet. And then we'll have like a master list of what's happened in the last year. So we're going to shorten it up. When we put that out there for the first time, if there's information that someone wants that's not on there, you can let us know and we'll happily add it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been missing your engineering reports in our packets.
Yeah.
I like looking at those things.
Well, we're gonna, on the regulatory side, there's no reason not to publish that report except for the I&I portion of it. It is meaningful for everyone to know that, our DEP limit on wastewater treatment plants are X and Y, and we're at, P and Q. And same thing on the water side, the water management district limit is this, and the true capacity of the system is that, and where we are compared to that. So that information needs to keep going out regardless of what's happening with I&I. So we're going to put that back.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Phillips? All right, thank you.
Yes,
Phil.
I was
We got one. Go ahead, Ms. Reynolds.
I was late to the mic, Mr. President. My apologies. I was just going to let Mr. Phillips know that the communication has begun on behalf of our water district with regard to the HUD entitlement community designation, which may be approached by the county in 2027. So that conversation has begun to put our chit in and carve out a little piece before we're overshadowed by the other districts within Santa Rosa County.
Right. Anything else from the board? All right, thank you, Phil. We appreciate that. And it looks like no one signed up for a member forum. Does anyone want to approach the board? If not, we've come to the end of the line here for the meeting.
Mr. President, could we ask Mr. Wells if there have been any line breaks from that company that keeps busting the lines? And if so, how many from last month, do you know?
There have been plenty. The number, I couldn't tell you from last month to this month off the top of my head, but there's anywhere from one to multiple a day.
Any progress with reimbursement for the damages that it is costing our operations personnel and ultimately our company?
It is slow. We do send a bill to them, but they want to dispute every little detail of it. So it's to get paid back it's a slow process, but we are pursuing.
Thank you.
They came through our neighborhood and it's just, 20 trucks and they're just digging holes everywhere and just drilling. It's just, no wonder.
Yeah, I mean,
They
it's,
finished our whole neighborhood in, I think, 3 days, 4 days, and it was,
it's chaotic, and they don't stay at one depth. They just, you know, if you tell them, hey, just try to go 4 foot over here. Well, they may for about 100 yards, and then next thing you know, they're either 5 foot or 2 foot right where all their services are, and just wreaking havoc, so.
right.
And what is the objective again?
They're laying fiber in,
For internet.
Speculation.
Telecom.
they're trying to put enough in that they could sell their infrastructure to some big outfit, is what it is. I have heard through the grapevine that their contract is about to run out and that they may not be back, but there may be another contractor coming behind them after the first of the year to continue on, so we'll see what happens.
Well, AT&T hired some subsidiary companies a couple years ago to lay in fiber optics, and they did the same thing. I mean, there was no communication. You couldn't talk to them. They didn't speak, and they wreaked havoc in different neighborhoods.
Yeah,
So this is a redux, a deja vu.
we live it every day.
To quantify it, Carmen, the repairs and maintenance on the water expenses as of the end of October are 105% of budget, and they should be at 83% of budget. And the repairs and maintenance for wastewater were at 99% of our annual budget, and they should have been at 83%. So our repairs and maintenance, due to these line breaks, are putting us way over budget on repairs. And, you know, like Clinton and Barbara have said, it's been difficult getting reimbursement from them for some of these repairs.
You know, I think maybe for the month of December, we could do something up for the year of 2025, how much we actually, you know, how many of those breaks that we had to repair, how much it cost us, and where we are in the reimbursement process.
We've got that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you got that somewhere, right? That might be a good thing to know, that I think the members want to know that for sure.
Right.
'Cause we definitely need to be reimbursed for that.
And this is obviously happening all over the county, or is it concentrated primarily here?
Well,
It's really down here on the south end, all the way to Gulf Breeze. But every county to the east of us is already, and they're still getting hammered down there because they're not done in their counties either. But as they were coming this way, we were hearing the nightmare stories. And then they got here and we lived the nightmare, so.
I think you all have reached out to the county, and they've kind of said, well, you're on your own. Is that the,
county controls the right-of-way, obviously, and the right-of-way permitting process. There was a meeting with the county to discuss options. They did ask for some feedback. We gave feedback, but we haven't seen any concrete action from that. In other words, they were looking at some additional right-of-way use restrictions, and I don't know where that stands right now.
I'd like to see those numbers
Yeah.
next month, that'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
so is the county administrator
Fair aware.
compiling that?
Well, it's through their engineering department on the day-to-day, but the administration's involved. Once again, so these telecom companies, before they just go and work in the right-of-way, have to get a permit from the county. The size of that permit is not currently limited, so there was some discussion about when they work, how big can these areas of work be, and impacts on other utilities, and those discussions are still ongoing.
And they also hit gas lines,
Oh, correct. There's been some dangerous situations already, and I believe we had one in Holly.
closed the
Second
road,
issue. Yeah, absolutely.
hazmat teams.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, anything else from the board? If not, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
All right, thank you, Carmen.
Second.
And I've got a second from Mr. Miller. All in favor of adjourning the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
Is that you? You're all up under the oak trees? We had 5 minutes.
Should be open, our president.
We got so much excitement for the holidays coming up. Long holidays. We gotta keep moving.
I was shoving out there 10 years ago.
Oh, you're fine. And Emerald, the resolution was in my packet. Yeah, I just didn't see it. Yeah.
Yes, and you gotta get all those pop top.
But there's no wires on both sides,
They're gonna keep Dad.
Yes, ma'am.
Granddad.
Driving back. Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Distractions are a good thing.
Sorry, I forgot about that one. That's all right.
Be good.
I asked Jeff about it, I'd like to get a copy of that resolution on the documents. You got a copy?
Yeah, it's in the website, in the minutes, in the documents. Okay, do you want me to text you? Okay, I'll text you.
Okay.
Do you want me to email it to you? I'll email it to you.
Are we meeting more?
That
Be able to hear you.
whole reason to be.
You can hear me just fine.
Oh, yeah, I thought she was looking for the golf course that way. I almost left there.
Just make my job sometimes.
Thank you.
That would be cool.
I can see.
We're gonna get I've been up.
That's why I didn't do
You don't have to turn around. Or you can stay here.
Agency to come in and give an evaluation. Current evaluation, where it stands.
check the viewership.
Okay, so that's
Because I'm here. You know, you gotta hang on. Yeah, no, I don't.
She was just going. Yeah. It wasn't directed towards me.
She was just.
You got more
I think that's how it's going to All right, I'm gonna pack it up.
They're not having it.
But we don't have it. But if we do, yeah, it's gonna be a.
Okay, I'll ask him.
But, the argument there would be.
Is that for each of the club and SDN?
All right, what is it?
Oh, you got one too?
It's a remote control. It's a universal remote control.
How handy.
It's a local pole.